Hi guys, how you do? Hi Alan.
Hello,
A
how
quick
are
in-
you?
a quick introduction about me. My name is Armin. I'm from Iran. He knows that.
Iran.
Um, I recently moved to Miami less than a year. I'm a DJ. I'm trying to be a producer. At least I'm trying my best.
You are a producer.
I am a producer. Yeah, not the best one, but I'm trying my
Put it
best.
into existence. You are.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I am. I moved to
Breath, deep
Miami
breath.
less than a year ago. Um, Before I moved to Miami, I used to live in Southeast Asia for several years. I used to live in Malaysia. I was DJing and studying there. Then I moved to the US. When I moved to Miami, I was looking for clubs, parties, just going out and stuff. So I had two friends back then from Southeast Asia, Vania and Meredith. So they told me when you go to Miami, you have to go to a space, Floyd, which I'm sure all of you guys, we should go out, you know those clubs. So they told me make sure you go see Alan T. He's the main guy. He's the signature of the space, I would say. Like at least everyone who goes there,
Of
they
the
know Alan.
city, of the city,
Of the city,
of the scene, of the scene, of the network.
East Coast, yeah. Maybe best
Worldwide,
worldwide.
darling.
Yeah, Alan T is actually worldwide. Yeah,
What we do is worldwide.
worldwide. Yeah.
Everything you put into the world is for everybody.
So they connected me with Alan T. Then I came. I remember first time I came to Floyd. I said, "Hi, Alan. My name is Armin." Those guys introduced you to me, and he was very warm with me. And then since then, every time I go, sometimes I just go there to say hi to Alan. Then I just passing by there and stuff. Then I got to know him. Well, keep going to party, Floyd, saying hi to Alan. But then after DJing, I noticed that I would like to do some podcasts, YouTube, videography, and stuff. So Alan T was the first person who came to my mind to do interview. Who's better than Alan? So I decided to invite him and just get to know Alan. Just get to know Alan, his lifestyle, how he did it started. Yeah, just general information.
How I live.
How Alan T lives.
It's all a part of my every breath existence on this earth.
Yeah, so if you go to Floyd, if you go to a space, make sure say hi to him. He's really inspired me when it comes to fashion, art, and he's very cool and very, very nice. I would say you're very nice. So let's talk about you, Alan.
Fierce.
Yeah, you are always welcome anywhere. Have you ever paid like for a ticket? I mean, for sure when you were younger, right? No, you're just welcome everywhere, right?
I have. I mean, it depends on the constraints. I mean, there are times when it's just, easier. I mean, but no.
Just to support.
The answer to that question is no.
No.
And when I do, it's usually like, reprimanded but there are situations where I wouldn't mind. But I mean, like, for a concert, what have you. I mean,
yeah, of course. Like the concert, yeah.
Tickets to sing. Well, usually the concerts I actually get whisked right up.
Like Justin Bieber concert.
Sorry?
Justin Bieber concert, like.
No, thank you.
I'm kidding. Okay, Alan, let's go talk about you.
Finally, we're doing this. We've been wanting to do this for a long time.
This is my first time, so I had a kind of stress.
Don't be stress doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So all a mindset. Just breathe. It's just, don't make me start crying because I'm very, very yin. And I had a night's sleep, which is very rare. No, that's it.
Yeah, I know. I was texting him 4 a.m. and he's like, let me sleep. Stop messaging me.
It's my one day. It was a day of the Lord. But
yeah. Thanks for coming for your day off.
I'm more than happy to be here.
Well, let's go talk about you. Can you introduce yourself, your name, where did you born, your life, just
where was I born? I'm going to be correcting your English because that's just the way I was.
Yeah, sure.
Brought up. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Alan Dale Tibaldio. I was born in Miami at Johnston, Wales. At Johnston, Wales. It was North Miami General once upon a time. And I was born where their current schooling is on North Miami. I was raised in Miami, but there was a lot of summers spent in Connecticut at my grandmother's cottage, New Haven to be exact, where my family was prior to living here in Miami. In 1950, my parents came to Miami. I spent a lot of time in Europe as a kid, New York, because my sister went away to college. She's elder than me. She went to a very, very prominent school, Sarah Lawrence in Bronxville, New York, which was like, the most insane institution you've ever seen. It was a girls' school, but there was a lot of guys. Bronxville, New York. Probably the most prominent institution of higher learning, which the faculty was like, Yoko Ono, Paul Jabbar, very, very famous people in, in their realms
But
of.
you are originally Italian. You're from Italy.
I am Italo-American. Yeah, I was born here. My parents were born in New York and Connecticut. My dad was in Connecticut. My mom was in the Bronx. Same street as Benny Soto, by the way, from
Yeah,
New York
yeah, yeah.
City. Keith Haring's ex-assistant. And they came here in 1950 to get away from the weather and what have you. We're from northern Italy. Let me just add that. Above Torino, Asti, Asti Spumante, that trashy wine.
How many years did you spend in Italy? Have you ever studied there or no? Just
Yes,
visiting?
yes, I did. 88. That's one thing at a time because you know how it is. I can be like, I can do 10 things at once at work, but we're doing this very focused. I spent a lot of time in Italy. Yes, I spoke a Northern Italian dialect, Piemontese, growing up. Like, that was used in the house of my grandparents. I didn't know my paternal grandparents. They passed away prior to my being born, but I was raised with my grandmother on my mom's side and my dad's side, pretty much. And her dialect being spoken, it's a French influenced dialect.
Where did you go to high school? Was it in New York or Italy?
I went to school here in Miami.
In Miami.
Yeah, I did 1 year in New York, which I never went to class when I was modeling.
The first year.
First year of what?
High school.
Miami.
Yeah.
I went to Miami Country. I went to private schools because it was like the thing.
Better.
Yeah, I mean, I went to really great schools. The school that I went to, the private schools I went to are now like megalom. They're like,
I think they're closed by now, right?
bitch. Listen, no, it's $100,000 a year to go there, though.
No way.
When I went there, it was very intimate. It was based out of like people that were like very, very like into the Florida horticulture, botany, what have you. More Floridian. They're like originally Miami. When I talk about Miami of the past, I talk about like it was like more of a white. It was very like cracker. That was the thing. I mean, it was like it wasn't Hispanic. I mean, yes, it was urban American as well, but it was more like
Multicultural.
it wasn't multi.
It wasn't.
Yeah, no, not what you see now. None of this was here.
Yeah.
It was more like a small town. Very very American, and then the Hispanics came in with Mariel and what have you. But
So you studied in Miami, but back and forth going to New York, visiting.
no. I studied in Miami. Yeah.
I studied in Miami.
Yeah, Miami Country Day.
Even your university, you went.
I went to University of Miami for the 5-year program,
What did you study?
architecture,
Oh, you got your bachelor in architecture,
Bachelor of Arts.
Bachelor of Arts. Have you ever worked in architecture?
Yes, one thing at a time.
Can you a little bit explain about your experience at architecture?
Let me just my education. I started at University of Miami in the 5-year program, which I completed. The second year of that was 1988. I went to London. The summer prior to that, I studied it in Rome. At that point, I met my second lover and created that whole thing. So my linguistics with Italy were very, very strong at that point because we were communicating. There was no WhatsApp. There was no internet at the time.
Send letters to each other and stuff.
We sent letters. Yes.
No way.
Yeah. And he, yeah.
That's interesting.
You should see those letters. They're
Like
insane.
movies, like
He was a surgeon.
Yeah.
OBGYN, very, very prominent.
Could you read his handwrite, like doctor?
Of course. No, that's how I learned Italian was through that. 'Cause he spoke 3 words. We were together for 10 to 11 years, 11-ish years. He spoke 3 English words. Is good, here, and September. That's all he could say after all the time we were together. And I was very verbose.
Why September?
Just
Just the easiest word.
that's
in the
when
months.
Italians have to go back to work in September after vacationing
Like
for a month.
November is like September. They're like in the same September, October. Yeah, okay. So you
Next.
you lived in London for a short time for a studying program and stuff.
Third year I went to school, study in London, yes. At the Architectural Association, which is probably the most prominent school of architecture in the world. I did a program there because I wanted to study with Zaha Hadid and Nigel Coates, who at the time had units there, studios.
After you graduated, what was your first job?
My first job, well, I was always
Like first proper.
I was always approached by like the head, the hot architects of the moment because my work was like really, really revered in school. I did really, really well. and it was very visual and what have you. And they always approached me to do things that were very particular, like Zaha and
You do interior design as well, right? I mean, I came to your house.
my architect, the School of Architecture I'm from, and just my life. I do everything. I did things from. I did the clothing. I was worried about what was in the closets. I was doing the music. I was doing the architecture, but my architecture was very, very developed on the lifestyle of the person I was doing it for. It was very, very specific. It was very customized, modern, as you will. My whole life has been put into that whole category that a professor once told me at a jury. He goes, your work is very customized, modern. It's always going to be very specific to the occasion, to the context, what have you. It was very, very, very deep. A lot of work.
So you were into art since the beginning, art, design.
Since I was born. I mean, I have just been nonstop.
How did you relate
creating.
that art, design, and architecture? How it became into music?
Well, I think that architecture, especially the person I was going to mentor, the mentor I was going to study under at the AA in London was so rooted in that. He had involvement with Malcolm McLaren. It was the 80s, so remember, it was like the hottest moment of music, fashion. Vivian Westwood, all that was embodied into the architecture. He did a narrative architecture today unit group, I should say. And it was comprised of music, art, fashion, all of the visual arts. They're all one.
Same time you like music as well, like going to parties. As a young person, teenager, going to parties.
The year that I went to London to study, 1988, was it was pretty much like the day, it was the moment that Acid House hit, which you kids it was the most insane. If you could have been there, it was such a moment where it just took over London. London was like pirate radio, the music, everything was so insane.
Were they copying from US or no? They had their own scene.
Well, I mean, there's all different. They were very much influenced by Chicago, Detroit, more Chicago. It was
Chicago house,
Chicago tracks. That was the thing that really got them, got their interest.
So I'm always getting confused. We have the Chicago house, Detroit house, techno, and the New York and West Coast, just like different.
It's all. I don't get into that specific. I don't get that specific with it because it's all one.
It's all music,
it's just, everybody gets very territorial. I understand that, Carl Craig. But I'm more of the Chicago. I remember, and I still have every cassette I ever had I have all the cassettes from the clubs, from the moment they were released. I even recorded off of pirate radio. There were tracks. It was more Chicago, I would say. They were interested in, like Lil Lewis, DJ Pierre, all that stuff. But everybody's, who's to say that it wasn't Detroit as well? They're so close in proximity. I don't even know why they're getting so territorial.
So technically, you lived all your life in Miami, but a short period of time in Italy, London for study. What about New York?
New York City, yeah. New York was
back and forth.
New York is where I went to after high school. I didn't go to college right away. I went to New York. I wanted to
explore.
I wanted to be a mad person and go out to clubs every single night.
I know.
Sometimes 10, 15 after hours every night.
15 San Francisco. Oh no, that club wasn't existing. Sorry.
Clubs a night. I'm saying number right. But New York City then was not the New York that you know now. There was the boroughs where you went to see people's grandparents and say hello. The Italians, the Jews, all different backgrounds. But it was Manhattan. Manhattan was so vibrant. It was such a scene. It was, literally there was about 200 clubs to choose from a night.
Studio 54 times.
From 54. Well, actually, no. Well, before 54, there were still clubs. It was like, there were a lot, better days. There's things that were like institutions for 54. But that's where, that encompassed, the fashion and the celebrities and the attitudes and the this and the that's and the rock stars and the disco. But everybody played that. It was big everywhere. Miami had a scene that was much more fervent than New York, actually. In my opinion, I learned more about music
in Miami.
At clubs here, yeah. I was like 14, 15 years old, even younger.
15?
I was probably like 13. I was
to just go to clubs.
I could walk. I was getting into clubs. I was blonde, blue-eyed, long blonde hair like Farrah Fawcett. Sorry?
You were a handsome guy at that time.
I was hot as shit. I was pretty hot. I was like, it was all going on. Yeah, but it was just the way I carried myself. I mean, I wasn't like throwing that around.
You're still fresh though. You're still fresh. The energy that you have, no one has.
I don't know about that, but thank you very much. But it's all about self-preservation. I just went down a notch. Let me see. So then, New York City was like a place where I furthered my interest in music. It was everywhere I was, the music was always like a part, whether it be at a club, on a radio station, because Europe had that radio that was like so appealing to me. They played such great stuff, and I was more into the imports. I was very into imports.
Did you ever consider to become a DJ, or no? You were just a fan of music.
No, I actually, my first lover, Tyrone, I was very, very young. I ordered from a very, very big sound engineer, Michael Harris at the time, rest in peace, my Bozak, my 1200s. The day that they came, I moved into his apartment, and I
That's
said,
before Nervous Records and all the history of Mike Nervous.
I was 15 years old.
Oh wow, that's very, very before.
I was chicken meat. I was young. I mean, I started really young. I was, very precocious, and I held out with elders, and I wasn't a 15-year-old, but I was a 15-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I was like, pretty advanced in my mind and what I wanted. And it was a different time. It was different times. I mean, things were, people were having so much fun. People were so beautiful. In Miami, people were so beautiful. That was in the Coconut Grove days. Coconut Grove was
no more, no downtown, no Brickell, nothing.
Well, downtown, yeah, it was here. It was very vibrant. It was like, the fabric stores and this and that. And everybody,
I still see them in downtown. They are still exist, but
there's very few. There's slim pickings. Everybody's being driven out. But it was always, my existence was always governed by and adherent to like what was going on in music of the place I was at. I was very, very much embodying that.
So technically, you were going to parties in New York and Miami back and forth. Then you studied. You got your bachelor in art.
I kind of like after that sojourn in New York is when I kind of like
I mean, you were going there.
I kind of like really like wore myself out. In that regard, we were going out to clubs. I can't even tell you how many a night. It would be from like minimum 5 to 10, and then after hours every night, and it was just an insane life. And after that little period, I actually was going to be doing sound engineering in the building where 54 is. I enrolled in a class. I never went to one class.
You never attended this?
Because I partied. We were partying so much. The thought of going to a class, even though it was just like whatever. And then I just was told by my sister, hey, I think you should take a break. It's time to, and then AIDS had hit at that time. And I was losing friends. People were dropping like flies. I mean, the more talented and interested I was in their work, the faster they were going. It wasn't just a question of money or stature in society. They were dropping. People were dying.
So
I left New York and I came to Miami and I said, architecture school.
Your parents were living in Miami, but you were in New York.
My parents came to Miami and never went back.
So when you were in New York, you were staying alone or with friends, had like roommates, or how was it? I mean, you told me it was
I was with my people. I was with my tribe. I was with my chosen family. Yeah, my best friend Candace. We had love interests, and we were brought together.
Same group.
She was like a real big part.
She's still in New York.
Yes, she still is. Yes.
So every time you went, you met.
No, I mean, I just I had my family.
Your group, yeah.
Like, it is.
Yeah. Like how I have my friends.
LGBT community, we have chosen family.
LGBT community, yeah.
And even though my family members were very much a part of my life, unlike a lot of people that were in.
Well, I know that San Francisco is very hot these days for LGBT community and gay community. It has
been
since the beginning, but you were just in New York based on East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, I got out there. I got out to the West Coast because I traveled a lot. My parents always instituted in me to travel, and they were very, very, very obliged to provide the tickets and the funds for me to do so. So I did it. My parents were like, even prior to picking out your major, travel the world, see what you want to do, make sure So I was going on school trips to Spain, Mykonos, you name it. I did all that. I did it, and I did it every summer.
So. What were you doing? I mean, as a job, I know all these things has a cost. Like for me, I'm working. I have 2-3 jobs.
I worked at throughout school. I worked at my dad's business.
That business.
Yeah, I progressed very, very fast, and I was just brought up in it, and I was very reliable, and I was good at anything I did. So they put me. I mean, mind you, even though I was the owner's son, I wasn't put into the executive office with air conditioning, what have you. I was in the back sweating my
You don't
ass
have
off.
any brothers. It's only you.
I have 4.
You have 4 brothers.
I'm one of 5. Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
So we were all like, I mean, yes, it was a very, it was a very, very successful company here in Miami, pianos and organs, I might add. But my parents were really tough in the work ethic. So that's where,
Sounds like Persian parents.
yeah, Italy, we're all Mediterranean.
Same, yeah.
We're all
Same culture.
slave drivers.
Study or get the job.
Crack the whip, do it. That's why now, like, I put so much into what I do. And it's just like, created such a work ethic in me that I look at the younger generations and I'm like, you guys have it made. You really do. And that's why I reprimand them for being so stupid many a time, because they have the world in their hands. And, but it's all about like that, staying with something until it's fruition. They're so fickle. Things are so come and go, in their lives, that I understand where it's just like, it's not, it's longer than a vine or longer than a story, then I'm not there for it. So that's really like.
So I consider you were studying, you were working, you consider to be a DJ and partying, but like it was just too busy and too fun to be a DJ.
Danny Tenaglia, a lot of the prominent DJs were like, if I DJ'd, they wouldn't have a job. It was like, I'm
How do you know Danny from New York, right?
Yeah. No, I know Danny from here.
From Miami, yes. But he's from New York, but
he is a native New Yorker.
How did you guys become friends, if you don't mind?
Through jumping around. So I'm just telling you, because usually it's me that's jumping around, but you're like, you make me look like
it's just interesting.
You make me look focused. I'm loving this. No, Danny came into my life, and we became very close via a very, very, very important part of dance music history, which was on Miami Beach. It was a record store entitled Y&T, Yesterday and Today Records, which was owned by a very dear friend of mine, Todd Saunders. And that is pretty much responsible for like a lot of these DJs that are.
Was this before he released the Music is the Answer?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Way before that.
Way before that, right?
Because Danny lived here in the early 80s and became famous here he became very popular here with his after hours at Cheers down south. He had an after hours here in Miami. It wasn't in New York. I mean, he was playing like, he was sticking to his guns and doing like these amazing, his amazing music always. He never veered from the final goal. And I'm saying that in that he played what he played here in Miami and he made it work. And it came to such a point where he had to go back to New York and do the Twilo thing, the tunnel thing, and what have you, because he was brought to fruition pretty much here through this record store. That's the whole segue.
It's interesting because yesterday when I was trying to prepare my interview with
he
you,
would sit at the record store for 20 hours.
I saw his boiler room set, which you are behind of him.
Mm-hmm.
You are checking
at Electric Pickle.
Exactly.
Josh
it's
Wing.
in ATV, right? I guess it's in ATV Records.
No.
Yeah. No.
It's right off of 26th Street. Pickle. The Electric Pickle.
He recently also put some video on his YouTube channel that he's in the studio. I think you shared that the other day that he is in the studio for the
Access Studio. Yeah,
super cool, man. Like
Seven Fisher and Ben Grassini.
Those equipments still.
They're dear friends of mine. I've worked with all those guys.
Okay, so you moved to Miami. Let's jump. You keep continuing.
You're jumping.
Yeah, so you keep continuing.
I'm just trying to I'm just spitting out facts in the way that I get. I'm dodging the bullets. I'm taking the bullets, I should say.
So you keep continuing your lifestyle as an artist, as a person who is interested about fashion, art, and everything.
Always.
When did you join the space?
So the space involvement.
I know that they had like different owners, different operation. Was it before or like after, or how was it?
Way before.
Way before the previous owner.
Pretty much the whole space thing started with this record store that we were talking about that I got interrupted with.
Miami Beach one.
The Yesterday and Today Records. The floor plans were brought by a childhood friend, Louis Brigg, who's the actual originator of it. And they were like, who should DJ this party? I was like consulted a lot of times in realms that I wasn't really like employed in, but they knew I knew my music and people and what have you. So it was always about bridging people together.
So they knew you, and then you joined them.
So that no, slow down, take a deep breath. It's Monday.
It's your off day.
It's a manic Monday for you. It's like cojones. So anyway, so then it was like, who's the person that could DJ this party? Danny Tenaglia. Bam. So Lewis had Danny open, and it was just like magic. Insane. You had no idea how insane it was. My involvement with space came later. That was like more like, hooking people together and just like being a participant and watching it all come to fruition. This was like 2000, I'm saying. And then I was doing the VIP for Danny's parties for the very, very regarded Winter Music Conference events at GrooveJet from the Y&T parties for them.
Y&T.
It was me doing the door, like just like the roped area for like the VIPs in the back. That led to like people asking me, interested in doing my club. Mind you, I have a very, very, very lucrative position at my dad's business, and I was working insane hours, 7 days a week, sometimes from 8 to 6, always on call, what have you. And then it wasn't until a club called Pawn Shop was brought about in early 2000s that I was asked for a position to do it, like, on the regular, let's say. So that was at Pawn Shop. While Pawn Shop was in its glory, it was an insane club. It was 2004 to 2008, I would say. It was right near Space. It was across from the Adrian Arch Center, and it had school buses in it. It was like, very ahead of its time. People are like so nostalgic for it now because it would be so perfect right now. But it had 3 buses within it. It had an Airstream VIP. It had an airplane. The owner was addicted to eBay. So it just was like this like insane playhouse. From there, they asked me to host the VIP door where Luigi is now a VIP.
Mm-hmm.
I was the VIP host. It was only from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. It wasn't like it is now where
Why only that time? Why that period of time?
because I had 7 other jobs at 7 other clubs and my dad's full-time job.
People are still coming at 4 a.m. and
What?
the people are still coming at 4 a.m. and you like hosting them at 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's crazy.
That's when people get there. People are just having breakfast at 2:00.
Yeah, I know. I still see like people come to
You've never been to
Spain.
Spain, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Spain, it's like 2 in the morning, and they're like,
still
the
coming.
tapas, more matapa, quieren matapa? No, but yeah, so that's how I got into space. That was the space thing, and Emmy Guerra actually got me. And mind you, a very dear friend from childhood who I consider very close to me, never even asked me for a
But
job.
was the Space the best club that time or no? It was many clubs. Later on, I know that like Space got
It was the After Hours Club. It was
After
a
Hours, yeah.
Saturday.
It still is After Hours Club.
Yeah.
But it's like very good, like people partying. Music never stopped. Like
Duh. But there was, and I was working at Griffin at the time. I worked everywhere. I mean, people would have me for just 2 hours just to have me. I mean, I was going from Fort Lauderdale. Hard Rock was a really great establishment. Griffin, Pangea. I was doing Amica, Crowbar, Mansion, Cameo. Cameo and Crowbar are the same. It's just, I was always asked to work. I mean, everybody wanted me. And then I was also doing New York too. So I was flying up for Rob Fernandez, Pacha, Assateria.
wow.
I was doing, special weekends. I was working with Danny's birthday parties, Victor Calderon, you name it. I was doing them.
So when it comes as Alan T, everyone tells Alan T is like you work as a doorman at Floyd Space, but I think it's more marketing. Like for sure, if I had a club, if I was a club owner, I would come to you. Like
it's kind of gotten it's changed in that. Well, I mean, the whole Floyd Space thing, we're all one. It's
all
like
same,
Miami Rebels. It's one unit. Where it's not like, oh, he got demoted. I did this space front door for 18 plus years, guys. It's like, that's a lot. And in the heyday,
I was a baby.
when people, let's not even talk about that. You were sparkling in your mom's eye. I feel sorry for you because you missed all the goodness. You missed all the real
Yeah, I know.
goodness.
That's why I'm telling Alan.
But
Like
anyway,
I wish I was born
no,
back.
it's not a question of that. It's just that it's like, every city in club, every major hub of, night clubbing, what have you, London, Barcelona, there's always like a figurehead who's like, speaks on behalf of the club community, whose image, network, knows people, et cetera, books, say, they ask them everything. It was like
Yeah,
a liaison of sorts.
it's very
So, yeah.
funny because like I go to other clubs, I see they all have a doorman or someone who is hosting people in, but like I see all the DJs who come to Miami, small ones go all to the bigger DJs, Jamie Jones, Fire, Seth, Danny, Carr, they all come and take a picture with you because they all know you. And they post a comment like, if you go to a space, make sure say hi to Alan
Yeah,
and
that comes
stuff.
with the territory. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
I
It's
mean,
very
back in the
interesting. Like everyone
it's
loves
always
you.
been like that. People just like, I mean, like there's like layers of it though. It's like even like the fashion thing. I mean, I was like prior in my initial years, I was like very into like it was also driven by the context I was working in, right? So pawn shop was like more like a like hipster, like artistic, kind of like ready-made objects vibe. And I got into like my uniform obsession with that. I
Yeah,
was dressed as a UPS man. I was dressed as a postal office worker.
I know.
I was dressed like a paramedic. The paramedics would come by, strap me to a gurney, drive me around the block with the sirens going, with a line around the block. The door was at hold, right? So I could carry
I
on.
think the best one is the one that you were wearing at Art Basel, the dolls, remember? The one that
Well, I was segueing into that. I mean, the current state of like my interest in fashion, besides like, being close with people who are major creators and minds or who I, approach to do things, it was just kind of like it's born out of like the years of doing it and just like pumping it up notches, keep on going, and it's like reached like high altitudes now. I would say, and that's kind of like it began post my cancer. Being, I had a little bout with cancer. It was stage 2A, Hodgkin's lymphoma.
yeah,
In a few months, it was
cancer
done. Blah
survivor.
blah. Next contestant. I kind of like pump things up. I'm like, let's take this up a few notches, and it keeps on going. It keeps on going. Keeps on going.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you follow me, you see it's kind of like
So sometimes when I talk to you, you're like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna come out. I'm tired." And so, what are the pros and cons about working in the music industry? I mean, everyone knows that. I mean, you get to see a lot of nice people, cool people having fun music. But sometimes, have you ever had this experience like, "Oh, I'm tired. I just don't want to do that," because I know that you don't do this for money. It's not about
well, I
money. It's
mean,
just
yeah,
having
of course
fun.
I do. The way the things are going up, inflation. You go to Publix now, it's like $300 gets you like a piece of Swiss cheese, a bottle of milk,
Small
and
bread,
maybe
yeah.
like a thing of romaine and a bad bread. And I don't do that. I'm very like couture in
Yeah.
my eating habits. I go to like 4 markets pretty much a
You
week.
actually have a good lifestyle. I see you eat very healthy. You eat like
Mhm.
nice food and stuff.
We're Italian,
Yeah, Italians. Nice food.
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean.
Like follow the Mediterranean diet. I'm like, we've been doing it for a few years, honey. Get with the program. It's like
What's your favorite food? Favorite Italian food? Pasta.
my favorite Italian, the antipasti, like peppers and.
You know, in Iran we put ketchup on everything, right? So last
I never
time,
knew that. It's so gross.
yeah, in Iran people put ketchup on everything, like
guys are-
pizza, like pasta.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah,
like I
like
say.
yeah, we add ketchup on
Because I'm
everything.
American, but I tell American, but you guys are fucking crazy. You guys are like your views on women. I'm obsessed with the Mediterranean culture. Middle Eastern men are the most insane hot things in the world. Ronnie Syke is a good friend of mine. Nicole Mudaber is a good friend of mine. Maram, my daughter's from Jordan. I love everything about it, but you guys have a lot of fucked up shit going on. It's like this, but I'm Catholic, so we do too. So next
I mean,
story.
yeah.
Everybody's fucked up. We're all fucked up together.
Have you
How's that?
ever considered to open your own brand as a fashion, like clothing line, like selling
Why,
clothes?
so you guys who have zero attention span and zero
No,
money.
I know that you do that, but like, I mean, I know that you design your own
I do
clothes.
things for people. It's not something that's not an avenue I really want to pursue. It's like there's people.
You never thought about it, like I want to have
It's
my
been
own.
put into the equation, but it's like, what am I gonna do? It's like start like wrapping up shirts. It's just like it's not.
It's too much already in the market. I know.
I'm already involved in 75 things per minute and day. That one more. I mean, I pursue it. It's a personal interest. I like watching others create and enabling them, commissioning them, what have you. Always enable the people who you're interested in their work. Always enable their craft.
So when it comes to designing, I remember I came to Floyd last week.
Mhm.
You were the guest. You were the guest as an artist that you were drawing and.
Right, I do it. Yeah, we change every week.
So you usually, for example, you get like a raw t-shirt like white, and then you start doing painting.
I like to I'm kind of like it's turned into like my interest in actually like putting my hands into creation. It's like there's so many different avenues I have. I love to draw it, but it's become like about painting objects, like household objects. I could paint any material, any
Yeah, I
shirt,
know.
not just a white t-shirt. It could be anything. It could be like a Miami Dolphin shirt. It could be.
You just add elements on it and
I
make it
just like I
nicer.
fuck around with it. I fuck it up, literally. Whether it's paint, I mean, it came from my prior residence on the water. We had so much land right on the water, and I was always like very very like outdoors and what have you. And I always just like to like play around with materials, and that was pretty much born with my architectural.
Is there any favorite brand that you like these days? Like from normal brands all the way to expensive luxury brands?
Everybody has their thing. I mean, it's like anything in particular. Like I said, they stick around for like what 2 posts and then it's gone. I mean, I like a lot of designers. I'm not really into a lot of the brands anymore as I used to be. I mean, mind you, I have a closet full of Valentino,
I know.
Club Montana. I mean, the real labels, Yamamoto, early Yamamoto, not the CY3 crap. All that stuff. I mean, I have some. I collect a lot of really, really valuable. But it was insane
Which
stuff.
is unique. Yeah, you
If you
cannot
see
find them
this stuff,
anymore.
it's
I know.
insane. It's
You showed me
absolutely
last
insane.
time.
But if you want a place to go to buy it, I could recommend one. But I mean, in terms of like a brand now, it's like I worked for like Energy, Miss 60 back in the day. They're like the rival of Diesels, if you will, much better, much more original. And I did things for them, but it's like really not have an actual line now. It's not really of interest to me.
So I want to
Favorite
talk
lines. Back to your question, favorite lines that are out. Designers.
designer.
Yeah, I know. I have my little roster. I like to like approach people who aren't even used to doing fashion to do stuff that have like artistic ability. I like to see what comes out of it. It's always been a thing of mine to give people projects to do, commission them with paid commissions, and see what they do. I've been so amazed. There was a doctor who comes to space, and she saw a jumper in a bag at the desk at the door, and she was like, "Can I take that? Because I like to like paint when I'm like chilling." She brought back this like piece of work that's like I was like, "Girl, you are insane. You're not just doing this on the fly. You are talented." She really turned it out. Now she's DJing.
Now she's DJing.
Yeah, and she's a surgeon. A techno
Like
loving
kind of
surgeon.
what Virgil
A
Abloh
techno
used
loving
to do. Like
surgeon.
kind
a
of what Virgil used to do.
surgeon touched for the very first time. Remember
So
that?
back to your lifestyle in New York. I want to talk
Oh
about
God.
Yeah, you know how I love New York and stuff.
Drugs, sex, boys, girls, gay,
Yeah,
straight.
so I was watching this documentary last night about Studio 54. It's like kind of Berghain in Berlin, right? So when you used to go, if they didn't like your style or if they didn't notice that you don't belong there, they didn't
what
let
you
you go
see
in.
is what you got. I mean, it was very that. It was that. But we were. I mean, it was a different era. People really got done. I mean,
It wasn't
especially in
about
New York.
money.
No, at all. I mean, it was like the more character you had, the better. I mean, yeah. If you walked in with like a fierce Kansai Yamamoto, trench coat, all embroidered, with like Manolo Blahnik
But
or
the decision was
Montfaucon
based
pumps.
on the doorman decision. He sees you, if he likes you, or if he noticed that you belong there, they let you go in.
Yeah, you're not understanding it wrong. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, like
But I mean, people got done. I mean, people in that scene. I mean, there were different echelons of it. There was like Upper East Side, downtown looks. They were Fiorucci. People shopped. The stores were insane though. I mean, back then it was like you had Charvari. You had places to go to get insane. Everything in the world was insane. It's not like what you guys have.
how do you see it
Quality
now?
was so insane.
How do you see it now? Do you think which one is like?
Let's not
not
say we
doing it.
did.
Yeah, I know. Miami has more parties now.
Computer
these days.
says no.
The parties are moving to Brooklyn. I keep following like the RA and stuff. Like they're all in Brooklyn. Like at
Yeah.
least the underground and disco parties.
Welcome to 2023. I'm glad you made that observation.
I mean, Manhattan became like more corporate, so people.
No, just the story. I'm not gonna get into. We're not gonna get into that. That's a whole 17-week
80s vibe.
series
Yeah.
in itself. I mean, there's politics. There's politicians. There's disease. HIV killed a lot of the creatives. Life happened. I mean, a lot of shit happened. I mean, real estate. Things
Yeah.
The commodization of regentrification. People don't want club noise. What have you? Giuliani. This one. There's a million and one factors. Life just isn't as quality ridden as it was back then. And bottom line, life was a lot better than what you guys have. Believe me, life was a lot better.
Still, there are some cool record labels which
Yeah,
does
no, I'm not
party,
saying
like
there's like
Nervous
I'm
Records
not one
still
of those
does
like
it, right?
I'm gonna rain on everybody's parade.
Yeah,
No,
I still see
I'm
like
just
some cool
saying that
parties.
there's a reason why it was so like insanely perfect in every way because music was quality, clothing was quality. It was there's no internet. People were focused. There was people.
No more taking pictures, stories. Oh
No,
my god.
no, Andy Warhol. There's people that have like their cameras. Like I see you kids are loving those non
I mean, it depends.
Polaroids
Like
and all that.
for
Like
me, sometimes if I see my favorite DJ, of course I get excited. I want to take picture or videos. But
it's
like
all good. I mean, you
just
got
one time, you don't need
it's
to.
fine. I mean, I'm the biggest whore for like a good op, but it's like it's like there's a you can't like do that and take in the moment at the same time. There's people who just sheerly have the camera going during a concert and not even looking at the artist. I'm like, really? So you gotta soak it in. It's not gonna be taken in the same way. It's just not. It's not.
Yeah, you came for
So
dance. You came to party, not for social media.
I mean, there's a limit to everything, like everything else. Everything in
They really
moderation.
control. Yeah, they really control like social media and stuff. Like it's really crazy. Like
What?
taking over. Like everyone just want to show. I mean, that person must be not happy on his
It's your world.
Yeah.
This is all your generation's, fault. So enjoy it. we're just here breathing
Any
your air.
crazy memories at the space you wanna tell me?
You know what? People ask me all the time. It's like,
And this is for me and you. It's just
no, it's for everybody in the world. I mean, I'm not shy about it or like not wanting to divulge it. There really isn't. It's like I guess it's because like, I mean, probably I was thinking to myself because people ask that question all the time. What is the most insane moment you've experienced? Not
I
just
saw
at
people
space.
dancing naked at the space. I mean, that's not
That's the fun
normal.
part. That's the good part.
Yeah,
There was a green neon
I remember the
banana
video.
hammock.
I
Get it
know, I
right.
saw
It
that
was
video.
it was a singlet, if you want to be particular, and it was the 75th hour we were open. So hello, it was like last call for alcohol, and everything else. But no, I mean, I think the most wild thing I've seen some things that weren't so great, where we're like people were like like going through it, like whatever it was. I'm not sure if it was substance or just in their mind or medical or just psychological. But it was like the weirdest thing I think I saw was a guy with a live shark during a hurricane. He had
Like shark, like real
a
shark.
live nurse shark. It was about like 3 feet, I would say, and he was selling this live shark out of the water.
In the live shark.
Selling a live shark,
Oh.
which is kind of fierce, right? It's
I
like
mean, who's going to buy a shark, man? Like you need to like a huge
You'd be
aquarium.
surprised. I was thinking about like a brooch or like a necklace. How about Kevin McHugh and the disco shark? No.
I would pay $200,000 for Michael Jackson gloves, but not for a shark.
Michael Jackson what?
You know, they
Gloves?
sold
God. Well,
one
exactly.
pair.
It's like you never.
One pair of Michael Jackson gloves.
I mean, it
You
was.
met him before, right? You told me you met him like
Yeah.
several parties.
Yeah.
It's the same duration.
Yeah, he would go to my dad for the B3, the Hammond B3, which is an organ. It was a sound that was very prominent in a lot of R&B, and all the churches had them. But yeah, Michael Jackson was on my dad's. His phone number was on my dad's speed dial.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Gives you
Hello.
energy. Yeah, blue. It gives you.
My
Favorite
eyes.
food? Favorite food?
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese. Yeah, I love Vietnamese food.
Oh,
The noodles. Have you been to Vietnam?
no,
I was there. It's
I would never come back.
crazy, man. Like it's crazy. The food is the
A good
best.
friend of mine that had a truck on Defective went, and it's just I would never come back. I like the French. There's and the Vietnamese thing. There's like French infusion. There's the
I think Asian food is the best in the world. It's more healthy. See all these Asian
Italians
people
are better.
age like 100
Let's
years
be
old.
honest. Italian. At the end of the day, honey, I'm not gonna be eating
No,
that.
but you see all these Asian like age like 100 years old and stuff. It's just because of the food as well. At least.
It's just it's also
Mentality.
mine.
What you believe. Yeah.
Manifestation.
Your favorite country to visit?
Italy.
Your
No, I'm
favorite your favorite city to live in America?
God, it's funny you asked me that. I'm really debating that right now because I'm not feeling.
It's not California.
It is.
It is. It's California.
Yeah. Yeah.
LA.
No.
San Francisco.
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
It's Palm Springs, honey. Ding, 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 ding. I'm just like wondering. I've been wondering that like these days. Like I'm not sure with the influx of people coming here. So I love it here. Don't get me wrong. I hate the weather. I mean,
The quality of life is good in Miami. You got the beach.
it's major. It's insane. It's gotten a lot less than when I grew up. But yeah, I mean, it's like
It's
I hate
hot
to see
though.
like the waterways being polluted. So like, when I was a kid, the waters were so fertile with fish and wildlife. We're polluting the world. It's nothing new. It's a horrible thing, and I do everything I can to have as minimal carbon imprint as I can. I don't use plastic, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, I've been questioning with like this, like the mass congestion in the towers. It's like I'm not opposed to that. I mean, given I'm an architect, so yeah, I like to see progress, but I'm not really sure it's progress if it's not really like happening. You know what I'm saying? It's like whitewashing and taking out local vendors and mom and pop businesses to whitewash and not have a tenant for like years is not progress, and it's not creating any sense of urban fabric.
Yeah.
I'm interested anyway. So I've been kind of questioning it. I mean, I love living 2 blocks from work. My family always said, live near your job. You'll always be, you'll never regret it. I'm not really sure about like what's going on here. My prices for things. It's just like, where do they think we're getting this from?
Miami is getting expensive. I know.
It's gotten insane. It's insane.
It's okay compared to California because I was there, but like the real estate is cheaper still.
I mean, I don't know if it's because of my being a native. I mean, there are things. My apartment, I've offered them over $1 million for it, and I could have bought it for close to $75,000 brand new when it was built. It was built by the people I work for. The pawn shop built my building, and it's a very high end, very well run building. It's very low. They really use like half of the square footage and air rights as it could have. It made it really congested, but it's really roomy. The hallways are huge. It's the most insane building in the world. You never see anybody. It's not like these buildings that are like 75 people with shopping bags, screaming babies, valet parking. That's not my. I like in and out.
Your thing. Yeah.
I'm very, very, very mobile. I like to run around and do things from you name it, Hialeah, Alapata. I'm not one of these ones that's like Brickell only. I actually detest it. The only reason I come here is for you. There's something that happens to me the minute I hit the heart of Brickell. It's like, ugh.
Thank you.
Because I remember Brickell when it was
there was nothing.
Welcome, Daddy. I remember when this whole area was, the Foray family's backyard, pretty much. I mean, it's like, they're like, talking about this place like it's like, like 24 karat gold. It's like, honey, we're in a swamp.
Favorite
underwater
band?
in 10 years. Huh?
Favorite band singer?
Favorite band singer? I have so many. Grace Jones. Grace Jones, Amanda Lear. I like R&B. I like rock. I like it all.
You listen to rap?
No. I do like some. I mean, I don't. I mean, I like I like Criss Cross. I like early. I like rap, bitch. They call me a gay rapper.
Like Biggie, Tupac.
One of the Nervous records, and
I love Nervous records, man.
I know.
Yeah, back then, yeah, I know.
But I mean, they called me Kevin Williams, who worked for every label out of New York back in the day. He's kind of like one of the Nervous figures. He once called me a gay rapper. But that's not through actual delivery. That's through electronic manipulation, putting all my vocals together.
Don't you think it became easier these days? I mean, of course,
it has become easy.
Yeah, to reach to the point of being a successful DJ. Like I got just like by social media, TikTok.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Keep your pants on, ladies and gentlemen.
Like it's really crazy. Like I've been starting to posting videos, just playing around with my tools and
just gotta
get attention. You just need to get attention.
No, not really. It's not even that. It's like you do need to like work on your craft. The end of the day is that these people are not gonna be put in front of 100, whatever, 10,000, 1,000 people audience and just like and flop out. I mean, yes, there's
Yeah.
ghost producers, what have you.
You
But
need
at
to
the end of
make
the day,
your own
you have to like,
signature.
yeah, you have to perform. I mean, you have to live up to the expectation. I mean, there's a lot of them that are like, duds, but that it's. I'm surprised that like thinking that usually I'm like the glass is half empty when I go to the occasion on people who are like have achieved acclaim for in such a rapid period of time or fast period of time, I should say. And like it's like I'm surprised that it's actually they deliver a product. But I mean, there's like ways of like packaging things. I understand that, but at the end of the day, it's like how you deliver. And you got to produce. You guys got to you got to
Yeah.
make your productions. You got to make your you got to put
That's the thing when you told
you got
me
to put your
like
feet in the sand.
when I
You're
started.
never gonna be nobody is ever gonna be anything without production. I don't care if you're banging on a tin can. Do something.
Yeah.
Find a way that it works
They
for
used to
you.
tell me if you play records, that means you're a good DJ, not CDJ, play vinyl and stuff. But like, okay,
I
many
mean, for it
people
to
play
become, I mean, you have to like, create like you gotta like
local.
read the market. You gotta read what these kids. It's really hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but it always has been. People just been adherent to what they believed in and stuck with it. I just know from the ones that are close to me that like I know some that are like so insanely talented that aren't of the stature of some of these guys, but you know what? That's okay too. It's like not everybody has
Also,
to
you
be.
have to
Not everybody
choose.
wants that bullshit. Not everybody wants to be like looked on as the bitchy DJ influencer. And 80% of the ones that have the talent don't even care about that.
That's the thing. You have to
For the
choose. You want
record.
the music or you want the money. I mean, you cannot
Well, I
be.
mean, that's not to say you don't want the money. I mean, it's like who doesn't
Money
want the
count.
fucking money at the end of the day? It's like it matters, but it's like it's not the driving force. It's like you can't stick to a craft for, I mean, what a whole lifetime. And I mean, you're not gonna just dabble in this and then get away and then take the money and run. It's not gonna be like a real estate deal or a Bitcoin venture. You're not gonna like bank and then dash. It's like I wish.
Because this was a question for me. Like, okay, if you are a DJ, do I want to be like, I don't know, big DJ? Do I want to be like I don't know, Jamie
You need
Jones?
to
Or do I
stop
want to be
thinking
like
about all this shit. This is
minimal?
all rhetoric that is you're just putting labels on yourself. You're limiting yourself already within the constraints of the categorization. You want to be what it's like, and then also you're like crazy with like the world, like
What is happening? Yeah.
the world keeps on spinning, and like the world
They
can
don't care. Yeah.
You're like, should I be in London? Should I be in New York? Should I be? Uh, just absorb where you are and do you. You do you. I mean, it's like if I was wanting to be like Kevin Aviance, who's Beyonce just sampled, God bless him, or Michael M, or people Franklin Fuentes. There's a million people who do what we do. You just gotta stand out. You just gotta do you. Gotta cut your hair first, but no,
I need to get the
I'm just
haircut.
saying.
Someone told me I
You're
look
like
cute.
always like oh no, picking and going.
Girls, they like my hair.
And it's like Jimmy Jones and Rossini and us. It's like just you do. It's like saying like should I open a place like Komodo or should I do like a mom and pop like like Bali Cafe downtown? Just do.
They have a nice
do
video.
Do what?
Bali coffee.
It's insane.
I love that.
Just do what you want to fucking do. What do you see yourself doing? Do you want, you're not, I mean, it's like, don't let the money, you already answered your own question. Don't put the money into the equation. Just put what you want to do. What do you enjoy to do? But in all that, you got to package it and you got to do something.
Pay my bills. Like if you ask
Then we'll
me,
get your job at McDonald's. They're hiring. I just
no.
thought. You already have, it's like,
No, I know, no.
You're Persian. Everybody has money in Persia. You're all rich.
Yeah, but like it's just different. Like
you are not going to be somewhere as a foreign import and placed there. Like we're going to put you. You're like I should be in Brooklyn. You're going to go to Brooklyn. Are you going to make? Are you going to be as? Where are you prolific? Where do you feel like you can put out or make? You have to do that. It can be pretty much anywhere now.
With social media doesn't matter as long as
fuck social media. Social media is not. This is not a social media moment.
As long as you do your job well, I think
social media is not life decision unless you're a whore. Bottom line, or if you just want to be. I mean, it's like I get it. It's like it's like, but I mean, it's like people are like, why? People are like, well, how come you don't have 2 million followers? I'm like, I'm not interested in 2 million followers, and it's like I am so hard to understand that it's like. And it's just an outlet for me to voice a little bit of what I do, not everything. It's just like, It's like if I poured everything out there, I would have like 5 million. It's like I'm not interested in that. It's not my life. That's not what I want. I don't want like
It's gonna bother
I'm
you
already
actually.
like so popular that it's like hard to go to public. So I don't need more.
You are already getting
I don't
too
want.
much.
I don't want like. I don't. That's not the way that I thrive. That's just not. I'm not getting more dick. I'm not getting more. I mean, I don't need any more friends. That's for damn sure. I'm not getting. I don't drink. I'm not. It's like I'm not. It's like what I mean. I know what I want, and it's like I'm just trying to. That's actually a good segue into what I mean. I'm like actually thinking I'm gonna go to YouTube and get with the new. Let's talk about the new launch we have coming with the club.
Which one?
Tea with Alan T.
Is a new club?
No, it's a new YouTube channel. The club is going to be featuring.
Oh, it's yours.
Ours.
Ours.
Everything's.
No, for me, I mean, except music, I noticed that I like videography, photography, and then
Put it all together.
yeah.
That's all right, so then we're doing this. We're starting this channel.
I mean, this is just for me. This is just for me and you.
It's about you now. Okay.
I mean, it's
All right.
about you as well, honey. But like,
Bitch, don't you guys say bitch, don't kill my brother. It's like, bitch,
no, I'm kidding. It's about
bitch, I'll
us.
take your boyfriend.
It's about
No.
us.
I'm just sorry. So then, all right, back to my psychiatric visit with you. Just figure out where you gotta make, there's gotta be a product. It has to be vinyl. I don't care if it's digital. I don't care if you guys are like, it has to be on vinyl just for like, throwback's sake. Just, it's gotta be out there and you gotta put it out there and it's gotta be good. It's gotta make sense. It can't be crap. 'Cause a lot of you guys make crap. A lot of you younger guys make a lot of shit.
I know.
It's
Cheesy
like, guys,
music.
it's got to stand out. You got to, it's like, it's like the way that I would wear an outfit to a club. It's like, make yourself look the best that you can. Pack whatever it is. I mean, if you're going to come in a G-string and want to get on Only in Data, then serve it, honey. Then your body better look fierce. If you're going to do black tape as an outfit, like Carlos says with Black Tape Project, make it good. Make it look, it's insane what he does.
Yeah, I
It's
think you
like,
need to be a whole package.
if it's gonna be minimal, Afro hound, forget about these categories. Just do it and make it good and make it encompass what your direction is gonna be or it wants to be.
So, how do you see the future of music industry, at least in Miami or East Coast?
It can't be just from Miami. It's the whole world. You can't.
The whole world, yeah. How do you
talk
see
about
it, like,
you're
in
so
future?
regional? Why do you're so global? And why do you talk about things in such a
I mean, because we are in Miami.
honey? There's probably more educated people here than you'll ever be.
Yeah, of
So
course.
relax.
I know.
Don't get so fierce. Because I mean, if you embodied your Persian background in what you do here, you'd probably be 4 places higher.
Actually, it's very interesting because in Iran, we have no clubs. I mean, we used to.
Yes, they party harder than anybody in the world.
We
'cause
have
they're-
underground
they-
parties, but it's just house parties. We never had clubs.
That's
I mean, we
why.
had
That's
back
why
then during the-
Sama's doing better than anybody, and all these people. I mean, don't give excuses. There's no excuses.
They have clubs.
I know Iranian people that are doing 10 times better than people that are from New York City.
Yes, just because of the limitations.
There's no limitations. It's all either you leave, or
No, I don't know how to
limitations,
explain to
in
you.
a place where it's like you have the most beautiful things in the world. You have the best food. It's the best style of life. I mean, there's places people think they have to flee where they are, where they're from, and it could be like a poor background, and people live so much better like that. The poor people live better than
Anyone
any
else.
rich
They are more
people.
happier.
What's of fashion is peasant. What is like local peasant.
No, I used to say like
Basically.
I'm coming from Iran. Okay, so I was comparing myself with the person. Okay, let's say you grew up in US. You have access to clubs, record shops, so you get to know
You're
everything.
here and you're still stuck on that.
Yeah.
You're here and you're still stuck on that, though. I understand the constraint it put on you as a kid, but you gotta let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh.
The point of success is different for anyone. It can be any age, any time.
I understand that, and I understand the world that you're in. It's like all coming at you like a ton of bricks, off the back of a truck, But it's like you just gotta like make it work. Make it all work. If you have to, do an OnlyFans for like a little extra, spending money to like buy the vinyl, and do it, honey. Whatever it takes, honey.
Only fans
Make it
for
work.
buying records.
Yeah. That's actually fun.
Good idea.
That'd be actually probably the most followed
can buy, like, 10
OnlyFans
records
in
for-
the world. If you just like
Make sure you
lay your
subscribe.
cock on top of a 12-inch, and it's like how big is it? It's like don't you know the dimensions? Can't you measure? All that joking aside, you got to really just like This is just my when they ask me what I should do, how can I play it today? How can I make it work? I mean, if you have to, it's like I understand the followers, but I know people who have very few followers,
but they are great people, yeah.
And they're like they turn it the fuck out. They are serving up something special. You want to travel to see them, but if you want, like if you want to have like green hair and scream about
I was
electronic
thinking
devices and stuff like
green,
that.
But yeah.
I mean, people look at Green Velvet and think like, oh, look at this fucking freak.
My mom would.
He's actually one of the most religious people in the world.
Ooh.
Green Velvet doesn't drink, and he's been at this for a hot minute, and he did nothing but insane production. He's done probably more production than anybody that I like most. Like Stalker, not like this microwave crap and electromagnetic waves and all that. They turn it. It's like the B-52s. It's like you can't talk about like.
It's actually good that you opened up this subject about the Green Velvet. I keep like.
I mean, people think about he's like a dirty, but no. He's
not.
He's like he's been at this for like a good 40. It's like 35, 40 years. I've been a fan of his and I have friends that are like his besties that they grew up with him in Chicago and that were that pick up a phone and they talk to him all day. He's very sincere, very great guy. I love Curtis, but I'm just like prior to knowing him, I would never have known that stuff. It's like, I thought he was just like some deranged tweaker, like talking about like roses and daisies and answering machines. But it made so much more, it was so much more conceptual. Now it's like, the response to the answering machine. I understand going on the formula that you made.
So I think you need to be more serious. So when I was younger, I used to drink, party hard and stuff, but like.
Still do.
Sometimes.
Rehab.
Yeah, but like.
Remember Amy Whitehouse?
I keep listening to other interviews with bigger DJs, bigger artists. They all said like DJing is like kind of service. The better you
Why
give
are you
the
watching
service.
Those? Who the hell? Why do you care?
I mean, just in general, to get some information and idea. That's why I'm telling that you're
not an idea. You're putting a constraint on yourself. You got to just formulate your own. Don't look at that crap.
Like you are telling Green Velvet doesn't do anything, right? But he's a great DJ.
No, I'm saying he never. I'm just saying that's what the backstory is now. I'm just saying like he had a period where he was just creating in a dark basement with mattresses as soundproofing and this and that.
Yeah.
Sound absorption for acoustics. So, I mean, Cashmere, you're hearing like, Brighter Days and everybody's set now, but that record has been around for 25 years.
All the time, yeah.
25, 30 years.
I love that record, actually.
You guys like it now. I liked it when it was not considered so fabulous to like it. It was like you were like another type of person. If you liked it, it was like, deeper and what have you. But he has a whole other moniker. I mean, if you want to be like so manic, then create different monikers. Do manic music, do trance. If you want to put yourself into the compartments, package each persona that you have. People did it all the time. Robbie Rivera did it. I remember him getting like 7 records a week from him at the record store when I would go on Thursdays.
I like your productions as well. Like your last track.
I'm just saying, like, if you have all these different, like, outlooks on the music scene, package them differently.
Yeah.
Just put a different wrapping on them, like, brand them differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Create, like, Armand the Puta, if you want to do, like, bitch tracks or
Armin.
Armand Van Helden. I'm not Armand Van Helden for, like, Tribal House. I mean, you have to, like, package it. Next subject, I'm done with that because you guys don't listen.
So you do music, right?
A lot.
And you do produce music either...
I don't produce.
As a co-producer, like as a vocal, as a cappella.
I have this like fluid stream of conscious gift that people like what comes out of my mouth and they like the timbre. I mean, the whole fruitation of me even doing records was leaving an answering machine message to a producer of Jody Watland from Shalimar. And it was like, get him into the studio. That turned into like about 400 records have been made from
the last release you had was the track with Nicole Mudaber, which got viral, and Carl Cox played at Burning Man, I guess, this year, right?
Carl Cox has it in his sets a lot. He always has been.
Seth Roxer played your track. I remember during, I think it was Art Basel closing. You were dancing behind
2019,
him.
Yeah. Seth, well, that's like because you guys are so like, able to research things and don't research what you should, that you didn't even, people like of your generation didn't even know I was in the music scene and had releases, I should say, and quite numerous ones on big labels. I mean, you guys should just wish you had as many releases as me. And I had them on vinyl which was when you made money and it was a big thing. I did imports. I achieved dreams. It was just like, but I would research through AIM Instant Messenger who I liked, whose music I liked, underdogs, young guys, grandfathers of house, send them my vocals without without even knowing them. I would just throw them to them and see what happened. I would throw like pasta against the wall, and a lot of it stuck. And people, I sent the most random stuff sometimes, but I would gear it to that market I was going for or the person I was sending it to. I had like stuff on, every label, Junior Boy's Own.
What is the thing about the attitude that you always talk to me like that DJ maybe is big or is small but doesn't have attitude? I don't want to name anyone, but like I know that
it's like I know that DJing is born out of like kind of like a non. Yeah, it's always kind of like born out of like
it's a game of the taste.
It's like a lot of people that were like outcasts, nerds, tech junkies or whatever, like cyber nerds, like people that weren't like, very social, like found solace with records and like an activity and what have you. But like, then you have to, then what do? You have to like, go out to the public and serve this stuff, right? So then, but it's like, I just don't think that, I mean, I don't care what the hell your mood is or what your life struggle. It's like, you're serving a product to people and it's like, make it pleasant. You know what I mean? It's like, bitterness is never welcome. I mean, it's like, it's not a place for bitterness. That's just my own thing. It's like, when somebody's like, trying to deliver a message through music and it's like, they're like really like not pleasant. I just don't get it. That's it. Nothing really.
Let's move on
next. It's like keep going, honey. There's always another one.
Do you get a lot of texts during the weekend about guest list? The guest list industry is like
people know what to come at me with, or I'll just bite their head off like an alligator. I mean, I'm quick to shut things down. Nobody can shut them down.
You have the serious side of you, like.
I just like it's like we're running a business. It's like it's about financial things. What's going on over there? Boys, we're in a room full of hot boys, all four of them.
That's the battery, right? All good. Yeah. Okay. Let's.
I'm just kidding.
You cut it later, right? Yeah. Guest list. Yeah.
Your hair. We're gonna cut your hair.
I will cut my hair.
Guest list. It's like people know what to come at me with. It's like I get like like repeat offenders. I succumb to their BS just to shut it down. I'd rather just like give it, but it depends on the night. Sometimes we need the bodies.
I mean, this is income, yeah, for sure. Like maybe someone is.
Bottom line is that sometimes bodies are needed to fill a club, right? I mean, it's like
need people.
We're open 4 nights a week, long nights, and it's like it depends on the booking, depends on the room, depends on the time, it depends on a lot of factors, and sometimes it's just like an easy go, and sometimes it's like a NO. Sometimes it's a strict no.
Yeah, exactly.
In other words,
I mean, everything in this world has a value. If you want to experience that, you have to pay the price. Doesn't matter. Paying art.
They say that, but it's like, is it true?
Yeah.
It's like I want to go to Cartier. I want to take me shopping in south of France.
Favorite new generation DJ? Is there anyone that you
favorite DJ? Adam at the door.
Well, Adam is the best. I love his selections.
He's gonna be the first one on our show, by the way. So stay tuned. Adam at the door. I love. God, it's like so hard. I like Souls Departed. Adi, who I work with. I like. God, I like
board music as well.
Coffin Text. I like all of my the ones I'm like around because they're like growing. I'm watching them grow. At first, I was like kind of like, God, these guys listen to such a fast RPM.
I like Brother Dan as well.
Yeah, Brother Dan's great.
He's very good.
I like Ray a lot. DJ Ray.
Yeah, DJ Ray. He's very good.
I hate to leave people out, but it's like there's so many of you now.
Yeah.
It's like buying a pair of underwear. It's like there's so many brands. It's like, guys, I just want a pair of Calvin Klein briefs that are gonna hold my balls in place. Come on, DJ, make it happen. Kind of, sort of, right?
It's interesting that in Miami, or at least like they're trying to make things.
DJ. I like Rachel. I like Rachel a lot. I like
which?
Okay. I like a lot of people.
Mada.
Yeah,
she's the best.
I like. There's so many.
I love Rachel.
I'm leaving out So many. I like my buddy Josh Ruiz. He's in the more of the LGBT scene. But everybody's like wanting to be like in the straight scene, but 15 minutes like Andy Warhol left.
Yeah, we're gonna finish sooner.
I did a track called 15 Minutes. Everybody wants to be famous for 15 minutes, or at least try to be famous for 15 minutes.
Okay, let's specific that. Favorite American DJ? Your favorite American DJ? I know it.
Danny Tenaglia.
Danny. After that, if you want to name, I like Seth. Danny, Seth.
Yeah, I love Seth. Is Seth considered European? But born? You're talking
He's
about
from Detroit.
Yeah, I like him. I love Hiroko.
Yeah.
Love Hiroko.
Yeah, she's very cool. She's very cool.
Fierce.
She's very funny as well.
Funny bitch.
Yeah.
I like there's so many. I hate this question. That's why I brought
Honey
paper.
Dijon.
I love Honey to death. I known Honey for a long time before Beyonce crazes.
Yeah. I'm playing with Haiti next week, by the way.
Haiti, not Haiti.
No, Haiti.
It's Haiti?
Haiti Loudon.
Yeah.
The one from UK.
Yeah, I know. I love her too. She's on my list for interview.
Is she?
Yeah.
Nice. We're gonna go out together. Probably gonna.
Excuse me. Oh. Boom,
No,
boom, boom. Let's
pregame,
go
just
back
a
to my
pregame,
room.
just a
No, I know she's not the type. You're not her type. She likes surfer boys. I think.
No, she's just a friend. No, not.
I know, but
not that.
friends, sometimes on a date.
She's married. She's married.
I know. I'm just saying. Sometimes things
My favorite
happen.
DJ, I like.
Okay.
I like British DJs as well, like UK DJs.
Excuse me.
Not
pardon.
Korean girls, just it's different.
I love the English. The English always have the best taste in music.
Yeah.
It's just like they have that. Like
They party harder as well, like UK.
I'm talking about music, not partying. Just relax. They party very hard, but it's like they don't know how to say no. But they have that like they're better at like reflecting on American music, European. They have all of it. Trance, techno. It's like, but they always encompass a lot of like soul in the music. That's what I like. And they're great with classics.
Asia had the good music though. When I was living there,
I like Alan Thompson a lot. I like Guy
Yeah.
Williams. People I've worked with, I like very much. But I mean, it's like I don't even know where people are from anymore because everybody's so like all over the place. It's like I live in Barcelona. It's like groundbreaking, honey. So does everybody else. I live in Berlin. It's like groundbreaking. I don't get like having to live in a certain place. I mean, yeah, for location, for travel and stuff like that, I get it. But just for like the party, it's like I don't get it. It's not going to affect your career. So start creating. On a closing note, start creating.
start producing.
Put it, I don't make it. Just put it together.
Yeah.
Make it presentable. If it's going to be in a postcard, if you're going to do it in a CD, maybe start doing mixtapes and passing them out. Hey, why not? People are doing cassettes again,
Exactly.
and that's all I listen to my music on. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, yeah, guys, Alan T has his party every Tuesday.
Let's not pump.
Every Tuesday, right?
October we come back.
October in Floyd.
I don't need any pump from you.
Then everyone knows.
Take a deep breath. Everybody knows.
Yeah, you can cut this part.
Follow me on Instagram. Fierceness is.
Follow Alan. I'm gonna put his Instagram.
If you don't, honey, then you're really like you're late to the party. You're tardy to the party.
I always come to your parties.
I know.
I always come. It's my favorite day. I mean,
Sometimes you get so childlike. I love it. He's like,
I'm tired.
Exhausted, never tired. Love you all for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for BrickPod for
Thanks
sponsoring this
Thanks for the heat
podcast.
in this bitch. I
Yeah,
feel like
it's a little bit
I
hot.
feel like I'm on a 16-hour marathon at space on like day 3. I'm like sweating my ass off.
Guys, I'm
tripping on
gonna
my crack.
put the BrickPod Instagram here. If you guys wanna do your podcast, interview, or anything, just reach
Yes,
out to
this is a
them.
great facility. Just see
Yeah,
AC.
great facility.
We gotta get dry ice or something.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Alan.
Views. I love the views. Thank you for having me.
See you weekend.